Hey everybody, I'm back again. I know half of my face was kind of gone in the other one, but I'm just about all here now. Broadcasting from the dark side of the moon. But I was having another random thought, and I do this in series, but this one I kind of had a couple weeks ago. I was thinking, dang, why do they, in religion, sow seeds or have tithing and give up their money in donation baskets and bins and stuff like that? And I thought, well, geez, you could sit there and say it's a greedy church, they just want your money because they're going to stick a Rolex on their wrist. And yeah, some of them, or maybe all of them, do. But I was also thinking maybe they had set that up with a different purpose that's being exploited, and their purpose was because greed was one of the, what, 10 Commandments? Is it?
Greed, one of
Thou
the
shalt not
seven
be
sins.
greedy. That's the seventh sin. Okay. It's okay. Hey, no, I know this stuff, but you know what? Sometimes, like when I'm on the spot, things don't just come to me. They're not just there on the top of my head. This is why it's going to take practice if I ever want to be a professional speaker. But okay, greed was one of the seven sins. And so the church thought in order to relieve people of greed, what's greed? Money. A lot of people, they do bad things for money. Because they don't have some, so that might be a reason to want to relieve them of it. Others, they say, you have so much money and you hang on to it, you're being greedy. That money can help other people, and maybe the church has plans on sending some to charity, but we all know that some of that ends up on the wrist. But I was also thinking, so what if they took the tithing and stuff like that, and they said, okay, we want to relieve the people of their greed. That's cool, but I mean, like, relieving the people of their greed almost transfers into another man or woman's greed, the churches. And that's not good. That's not healthy for either of the pair, to be honest. It's almost like a vampire relationship. But what if everybody took those tithings or whatever, sorry if I'm not saying things right, sowing a seed, the donation baskets, and what if it just didn't go to charity or whatever, or a portion of it go to charity? What if it all went into a special housing project? And what they did is they use that money and actually create housing for the homeless. Now the homeless then should be put through a screening process to determine if they're able to even take care of themselves. And if they're not, if they're incapable like that, or they need supervision, or maybe they're on drugs or whatever, there needs to be a dormitory where they go. And yeah, separate buildings with some male and female in separate ones, but somewhere where they can meet in the middle. You know what I mean? But high security, only because we wouldn't want one going over to the other, because sometimes they're not in their right. People are not in their right minds, and I'm starting to get really quick paced right now, and it's causing me to stutter a lot. So I'm going to slow it down a little bit. So if we took those tithings, sowing a seed, the donations, and we put it into a housing program, two types: one, a dormitory for anybody who needs a caretaker and needs to be taken care of, and then they have people come in, take care of it, make sure everything's going good, drug tests, because come on, not going to leave you on your heroin or your meth or whatever, And then the housing is given to people, and then through that, they have a place and an address so they can actually go out and look for work. Now, some of them might not have education. I'm not saying all, I'm saying some. Some might not have education. Some might not have proper, um, they might have learning curves, might need to be taught differently. So I think then there needs to be something that allow them almost to like go back into school as well. So they go to school and they get a house, and then there needs to be companies that accept people for positions while they're in schooling. Either something that adds to their training, so when they get out of their school, they got training also, and they go right into a job, or something that just is for the time being while they're in school, that makes them money. And then what should happen is all this tithing and sowing a seed should then pay for the rent of this house and everything. And until the person has the job and the income coming in, a certain amount in the bank, in the bank, and it should be controlled. I'm sorry, but I mean, at this point, you know what I mean? It might need to be controlled, but you're going to be in a better position afterwards. And then once everything's set up, and I'm not talking about going in and paperwork, and this is just coming from word of mouth. So I mean, like if I'm becoming dependent on this, I'm not going to feed you a line. It's all being, you're being guided through the process. Then at the end, now you're paying on the house, and a lot of it's paid off. So I mean, it's low payments from there. The house might even be paid off or whatever because maybe large amounts go into it. And I know that might seem unfair to people who are still trying to own their house or whatnot. So I mean, that could be tweaked a little bit, maybe to be more fair to everybody else, have some benefits for them, or they won't own the house at the end. They will just be left paying on it like everybody else. That seems fair. So yeah, we'll go with that one. So take all this money, put into these projects, get it going, get people on their feet, and then we have no more homeless. So if you've seen my other videos, now we can fish, we can take care of ourselves, we can relieve ourselves of homelessness, we can get education, we can get housing, because to be honest, when you're homeless, it's hard to get on your feet. You get a lot of tickets, you get a lot of negative attention, you get chased off. You know what I mean? At some point, because of all this happening, you don't even take care of yourself anymore, and you might start looking pretty bad, fitting the bill, and even taking this groove and making it your grave, because it becomes a groove. Now all of a sudden your job is you're digging for cans, and you're standing on the side and you're asking people for money, and you're panhandling and stuff like that. So now your groove is your grave, and that's your life. And you're not going to expand your family, you're not going to continue your bloodline, you're not going to do anything. Everything dies with you. And then that's just it. All because you were fine with where you were at the bottom, because it's so hard to start standing up because of how people look at you, because of things that aren't available to you, because of dependency on welfare, because of how that's set up, the whole 9 yards. Now all of a sudden you think that your life is just what's in the dumpster and what's on the side of the road with your hand out, and I'm not saying this from ignorance, because I once worked for a marketing company ran by an Australian and an Irishman. The Irishman was once a backpacker, and in Ireland, that's actually a homeless man, and he worked his butt off, and now he's a millionaire. Wow, that's just the way it is, because he didn't sit down and just let things pass him by. He just went full throttle and said, I don't want to be like this my whole life, so I'm going to do everything I can to work my way up. And he did. Now he's selling realty, and he was funding a solar project as well. Selling solar. That's pretty good. So now, because they were so sensitive towards backpackers or homeless, sometimes we would be out, and they would take us out all the time to these clubs and to these restaurants, and you'd run into a homeless guy and they'd say, hey, you got $1? No matter how they looked, homeless guy or girl, no matter how they looked, my boss on the spot said, I'll give you a job right now. It was always an excuse. Out of all these people who had ever asked for money while we were out, with these job offers, so serious, ready right then and there. The job's yours, come in. You're at least going to get one paycheck. Even if you screw up and you're out of here, you get a paycheck. Hell yeah, And it was a no-go, Excuses, so many excuses for one. Or promises to be there and then no shows, no calls, no answers, no nothing. One guy, he actually did come in. And not everything's for everyone. When you're in a position and you have a chance at education so you can learn to do a certain something, and you're already given the benefit of the doubt, go through it. Use it as a stepping stone if you don't want to be there forever. But I mean, you got to push forward. You got to get up off the ground. You can't lay there, because like if you do that on the beach, the water comes up over you enough times, you sink into the sand, you're gone. There's nothing left. You might as well have your house built on the same sand. But that's my thoughts on all that. That would help the homeless. The homeless, like I said, one guy out of everybody came in, But I'll tell you, he didn't last very long. He ate a bunch of chicken and stuff like that. He stuck out the one day. Yeah, he didn't want to give his social security number. I remember that was an issue. And when the boss was trying to uh, get everything plugged in, you know, we're not paying you under the table. It just was a no-go for him, so he ended up not showing up again, you know, another day. So that was pretty sad because I was really wanting to see things lift up for him. But that's all I got on that. That's the the random thoughts that I have on helping the homeless and getting this world back in order and everything. There should be more help for them. There should be more understanding and compassion for them. And for them, they need to help themselves more. And if not, dormitory, baby. Dormitory. Oh, well. Anyway, that's all I got. If I go on from here, I'll be rambling. I hope you all have a good rest of your day. You might notice I am wearing the same attire. These may have been taken in the same day. But, I'm not going to share all my random thoughts in one long 30-minute video. You've got to have a focus. Talk to you later, everybody. Seasick Bill out.